Hello and very warm welcome at Army Shackle 5858. I am Army Shackle. Following all the news which have been reported by American, European, Canadian, Asian, African, and Australian channels and AFP, AP, Reuters news agencies. Now, please watch the news headlines.
Hello and welcome back. You're watching Daybreak here on France 24. Our headlines this hour. The Israeli military destroys a high-rise in Gaza City, pursues its enclave's largest urban area. Meanwhile, Hamas released video of two Israeli hostages it claims was filmed in Gaza City in recent weeks. We'll get the reaction from Israel with our correspondent Noga Tarnopolsky. Tension between Venezuela and the U.S. continues to escalate, with the U.S. sending 10 more fighter jets to the Caribbean. The surge in hostility was sparked by Donald Trump's war on drug cartels, with the U.S. military striking a Venezuelan drug boat earlier this week. And EU competition regulators slapped U.S. tech giant Google with a nearly €3 billion fine for its ad technology. Donald Trump slammed the move as unfair and discriminatory and said he'd take the matter up with the EU. Donald Trump rebrands the city Department of War and the job.
About half an hour later, attack as offing surfboard broken apart. On the beach, his family and friends sold beaches from North Beach, Manly, have learned about the victim from the lead time ago. Take a listen.
is first.
Tonight we have breaking news as we come on the air. Millions in the East are on alert for severe weather. Storms targeting major cities, Philadelphia, New York City, up into New England, damaging wind gusts, heavy lightning, while tracking tropics to both and by. Also breaking President Trump today's economy. The jobs number, the labor blow 22,000 jobs created in August, much worse. Side Georgia, many South Koreans were raised. Bill for unit that live in law behind where you President Putin summit in Alaska. No meeting between Russia and about crash or at least kill or rock level of ability anti-deletes. It was opening court then played out in court. Tonight, theology in Carter. Involving WNBA superstar Caitlin Clark and the Powerball jackpot soared even higher. Big dreams for this weekend. World News. This is World News Tonight. A story Lord, God. Excuse me. We used to have conversations about stuff like this, and I'm a lay person. I focus on killing people anymore. And he'd be like, "Yeah, we're trying to work on that." So it's kind of cool that the guy, the guy who's
taking credit for this.
Yes, and I'm using this as my candidacy for governor. At least probably more. So people exactly who can. It's like that he really is like that.
Yeah, exactly. I know. And just the number of shirtless photos that are.
This guy just sent candles in his office. Friday is a fact of your what's trying to be on tonight.
This morning, reporting yes, Good morning. A major government reshuffle sees David Lammy become Deputy Prime Minister, Yvette Cooper moved from the Home Office to the Foreign Office, and Shabana Mahmood promoted to Home Secretary.
The dramatic scenes were set in motion, of course, following the resignation of Angela Rayner, who stepped down after a report found that she did indeed breach ministerial code by underpaying the stamp duty on her new flat in Hove.
So what does all this mean for the government, and what impact will it have on a beleaguered Prime Minister who faces an ever-growing threat from reform?
And say, you are the last chance we've got to get this country back. The last chance the country's got to get this country back on track.
The party will reform quite bad. You continue to cut through at a time of uncertainty in Westminster. Well, later on in the programme, we will reform.
We'll be hearing from the newly appointed Chancellor of the Duchy of Lancaster and Chief Secretary to the Prime Minister, Darren Jones.
The Duchess of Kent, who became the oldest living member of the royal family after Queen Elizabeth's death, well, she has passed away now at the age of 92. An amazing lady. We'll be paying tribute throughout the morning.
An ominous warning from Vladimir Putin, who said any foreign troops operating as part of a peacekeeping force in Ukraine would be a legitimate target for Moscow. We'll bring you the latest on that.
A very good morning. It's the end of the road for Novak Djokovic at the US Open. Carlos Alcaraz beat the Serb in straight sets to set up tomorrow's final against world number one Jannik Sinner at Flushing Meadow. In football, England face Andorra at Wembley this evening, while England's women take on Australia in the Rugby Union World Cup.
Morning. After a pretty wet week, the weather's calmed down a little bit for the weekend. It's getting quite breezy out there today, but most places dry and fine with some sunshine. The winds strengthen further tomorrow with rain for some of us. Find out where with a full forecast with me coming up soon.
It's just gone 6 o'clock.
Africa News. The news. The president's term officially expired midnight Thursday, but instead of a power transfer, Embalo stayed on as president in what the opposition has termed as an illegal power grab. He has vowed to occupy the presidential palace until elections are held on November 23rd. Embalo is widely expected to seek a second term. Experts now fear the possibility of a new constitutional crisis and the potential of political instability. Guinea-Bissau's constitution sets the presidential term at 5 years with maximum 2 terms. The opposition says Embalo's term should have ended on February 27th, but the nation's Supreme Court ruled that it should run until September 4th. Over the past months, the opposition has refused to recognize Embalo as president. Elections for a new parliament have also not been held since the previous assembly was dissolved in 2023. The country has seen several military coups since independence. Chinese leader Xi Jinping and North Korea's Kim Jong-un have pledged to deepen strategic coordination in their first formal summit in 6 years. Xi met Kim at the Great Hall of the People in Beijing Thursday and hosted him for tea and dinner afterwards, according to Chinese state media. The summit could hint at a restoration of ties between the two states after they grew more distant in recent years. The readout from the meeting did not mention the denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula as previous ones have. North Korea's nuclear weapons program has transformed Pyongyang into the most heavily sanctioned state in the world. However, Russia and to a lesser extent China have become less openly critical of that program in recent years as tensions with Western powers have risen. In 2022, China and Russia for the first time vetoed a UN resolution at the UN Security Council calling for additional sanctions on North Korea over its renewed ballistic missile launches.
Dark clouds and welcome rain in this parched desert country. It's an infrequent visitor to this part of the world that is usually baked by sunshine, and one that fascinates the people who live here. A group of them have been chasing the rainfall to this village and part of the United Emirates.
This is basic. This is what Kerala people really love, this rain, and we are chasing it for a long time actually, and this is amazing. And we thank UA Weatherman for passing information to all of us.
It's a memorable moment worthy of a family outing in this dry country, not only for its citizens, but also for the huge number of foreign workers, many of whom are from the Indian subcontinent and used to monsoon rains.
India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, all tropical countries, okay, getting so much rain. So yeah, when we come to Dubai, like a dry area, okay, so we are always expecting a single drop of rain. If drop comes, it gives a lot of happiness, lot of memories, nostalgic moments.
With the weather pattern that keeps the rain away, he relies heavily on some city desalination plants to supply it with enough drinking water. It's also been cloud seeding for years, releasing chemicals into clouds to try and induce rain, but it's still 7th in the world for being Hello, very good morning. It's 6 o'clock. Coming up on the show today, we're going to hear from the government for the first time since that biggest cabinet reshuffle in decades.
And Carlos Alcaraz beats Novak Djokovic to make the final of the US Open.
It's Saturday, the 6th of September. Sweeping changes in many of the top cabinet posts as the Prime Minister now faces the challenge of restoring faith in his government and uniting his party. A couple from Cheshire enjoying a holiday to Lisbon are named as two of the three British victims of Wednesday's deadly tram crash. The latest target of Israel's military offensive in Gaza as Hamas releases pictures of two more living hostages.
In sport, the WSL is back and it's business as usual for Chelsea as the reigning champions beat Manchester City 2-1 at Stamford Bridge.
Hello, a very good morning. Thanks for joining us. We're going to get to our top story in just a moment. First, I just want to bring you some breaking news. And there are reports that around 100 firefighters are battling a blaze in a 9-storey building in West London. The London Fire Brigade has tweeted about this in the last few minutes. So let me just read you what they're saying. 15 fire engines have been called to a fire in White City in London. They say we're being told the incident is centred on a 9-storey mixed-use building on Wood Lane, and the fire brigade have said that first reports of the fire were received by them just after 3 a.m. this morning, and they're telling people to avoid the area. So that's news that we're told around 15 fire engines, around 100 firefighters have been called to that fire involving what they're describing as a mixed-use building.
Tonight, the new report, Health Secretary RFK Jr. expected to release a study potentially linking taking Tylenol during pregnancy to autism. The company's stock down after the Wall Street Journal reported HHS will explore links between autism and the popular pain reliever, despite data that it's safe. The news coming a day after Kennedy was grilled by senators about his controversial public health views. The urgent new warning signs about the economy, losing jobs for the first time since the pandemic, rising unemployment hitting young people especially hard as tariff uncertainty impacts nearly every part of the economy. President Trump arguing real job numbers will come in a year, what it could all mean for interest rates. Inside one of the biggest ICE raids yet, officers lining people up at a Hyundai plant construction site arresting 475 who ICE says were working illegally, most of them from South Korea. The major immigration escalation, the top secret SEAL Team 6 mission inside North Korea, the high-stakes operation to plant a listening device to spy on Kim Jong-un, how the stealth mission involving submarines fell apart, tracking multiple tropical threats including a hurricane headed towards Hawaii. Also tonight, why Elon Musk could be the world's first trillionaire. And it's a story you have to see to believe. A stick of dynamite set to explode in a family's yard, diffused by the family dog. The life-saving moment caught on camera. And our very own Chanel Jones opening up about the loss of her husband. The powerful message she's sharing about grief as she returns to the Today Show. Nightly News starts right now. This is NBC Nightly News with Tom Yamas.
The labor market tightens, unemployment rises. She served America for 6 years, and now
I am unable to get health insurance for my kids because I cannot find a job.
I'm in Georgia. We need construction to cease immediately. I arrest hundreds of workers at a Hyundai plant.
about him, first millennial saint.
And Steve Hartman with a college senior pursuing a lifelong dream.
Your only failure is not trying.
CBS News headquarters in New York, this is Evening News.
Good evening, I'm John Dickerson.
I'm Maurice Dubois.
It is getting harder and harder to find a job because the economy is creating fewer and fewer of them. Only 22,000 last month, most of them in healthcare. All this according to a report today from the Labor Department.
You may recall the last negative report a month ago cost the commissioner of the Bureau of Labor Statistics her job. The president fired her, leaving it to the acting commissioner to preside over today's report, which also shows unemployment ticking up to 4.3%, the highest since 2021.
The weak jobs numbers mean there is a stronger chance the Federal Reserve will lower interest rates later this month, which the president has been demanding.
Shortly after the report came out today, Mr. Trump lashed out at the Fed chairman, calling him Jerome Too Late Powell. Kelly O'Grady is here now to put the report in perspective. And Kelly, the numbers were even lower than we expected.
That's right. And I think the takeaway is the labor market is continuing to slow down. An unemployment rate of 4.3%, it's still considered healthy, but we've now seen 4 straight.
Good evening, I'm Amna Navaz.
And I'm Jeff Bennett. On the NewsHour tonight, a slowdown in hiring sends a warning signal about health of the U.S. economy.
4 years after the U.S. withdrew from Afghanistan, thousands of Afghan immigrants in America face deportation, despite their fears that they'll be targeted by the Taliban.
There's no justice, there's no court. They will just order their soldiers to change their aim and just shoot you in your head.
And the rise of artificial intelligence and the infrastructure needed to support it causes a sharp rise in electricity bills.
Welcome to Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, the War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman. Israel's military says it now controls 40% of Gaza City as its forces expand their assault on densely populated residential areas, including camps for displaced Palestinians. Israeli attacks so far today have killed at least 44 people across the Gaza Strip, including at least 7 children. This is Samaya Mikdad, a relative of family hit by an Israeli strike near Al-Shifa Hospital in Gaza City Thursday that killed a pregnant woman and her unborn child.
The woman was getting ready to deliver a baby. Here are the diapers for the baby's clothes, and the month she was due to deliver. What is her fault? This is a people's tent. What is their fault? Is it a war against Hamas, or is it a war against the people?
Palestinian health officials say at least 30% of those killed by Israeli attacks are minors, amounting to 28 children or an entire classroom slaughtered every day for nearly 2 years. Meanwhile, a prominent
Thank you for watching Amish Shakil 5858. I am Amish Shakil. I hope you will visit again. Have a good life. Bye-bye.